There's this scene from a show in the 90s that I often think about. It's so good, it's changed the way I think about writing, and even the way I think about how to live my own life. It's such a part of my standard media lexicon that I often reference it out loud only to have people look at me blankly because they have no idea what I'm talking about. And so, here on YouTube, submitted for your approval, I present to you The Tragedy of Half Ted. Welcome to Thing Thing, a channel featuring video essays about whatever's on my mind at the moment. Usually it's TV and movies, but I reserve the right to talk about the finer points of using American cheese in the culinary arts, so you should definitely like and subscribe, because that one's going to be a banger. American Gothic was a show that ran on CBS in the 1995 to 1996 television season. It was created by Sean Cassidy. Yes, that Sean Cassidy, and executive produced by Sam Raimi. It was criminally underrated and one of the best genre TV shows of the 90s, hands down, but almost nobody saw it. It was the equivalent to what DC Comics was doing with the Vertigo Comics imprint around that same time with books like Hellblazer, Sandman, and Preacher. American Gothic would have made an excellent Vertigo comic. The show only ran for one season, but it got a whole season, so there are 22 episodes in total. It takes place in the small southern town of Trinity, South Carolina. Lucas Buck, played by Gary Cole, is the sheriff of Trinity. He's also probably literally the devil. TV Tropes says this: Sheriff Buck rules over his little kingdom with morbid humor and playfulness, setting up moral pitfalls and dilemmas for the town's residents, and dispensing his own brand of justice, vengeance, or just plain meanness, which often involves ruin, insanity, dismemberment, or death. Opposing Buck is young Caleb Temple, played by Lucas Black, an orphan who talks regularly to his dead sister Merlin, played by Sarah Paulson, and has powers of his own, and who may or may not be Buck's son. Buck wants Caleb to follow him, Merlin wants Caleb to resist, and the rest of Trinity gets caught in the crossfire, so to speak. The central conflict of the show has to do with whether young Caleb will follow in his father's footsteps and become a monster, or embrace the light and use his power for good, like his dead sister Merlin and the friendly townsfolk want. Even though the show ran on CBS, it's not available to watch on Paramount+. Prime Video has it for purchase, though, if you're interested, and you should be interested if you dig really well-written Southern Gothic horror. This is one of those rare hidden gems that a whole lot of online nerd culture is still ignorant of, despite a tiny cohort of folks extolling its virtues to anyone who will listen. There's a great episode-by-episode recap by YouTuber Cool Channel DreadTube, who has an overview video on his channel that suggests that American Gothic asks the question, what would happen if Sheriff Andy Taylor from The Andy Griffith Show was possessed by Satan? Yep, that sounds about right to me. So there's this scene from the 15th episode of American Gothic, Learning to Crawl. IMDb actually says it's episode 17, and Wikipedia says it's episode 15. Apparently, the episode listings online and in the 2 American DVD releases from Universal are very confusing and not in the right watch orders generally, because there were 4 episodes that never aired in the show's initial run, and because air dates were often out of order from production dates. YouTuber Zara Nizarak has a suggested watch order on his channel. There's a link in the description. The scene takes place in a cabin in the woods, much like other Sam Raimi-produced horror, and the actor who plays the character Ted is Raimi's brother, Ted Raimi. I love this scene, and I think about it often. Here's the setup. In the woods outside of Trinity, 3 kidnappers have abducted the CEO of a tobacco company named Rolston. One of the kidnappers, Ted Parker, stays with Rolston in an old fishing cabin while the 2 others go to collect the ransom. When Rolston tries to leave the cabin, the nervous Ted shoots him in the back, wounding him badly. Meanwhile, Sheriff Lucas Buck takes young Caleb on a fishing trip, but they accidentally stumble onto Ted in the cabin.
Don't try anything. Hey!
Trail mix? Actually, it's party mix. Got all these crispy bits in it.
Trail mix?
I made it myself. It's spicy.
Thanks.
Stay right where you are.
I'm not going anywhere. We're on vacation.
Oh, God. You're a cop.
Lucas Buck. Nice to meet you.
I'm not telling you my name.
Well, looks like we're gonna be together a little while. I gotta call you something. How about, I call you Ted.
How'd you know my name?
It's blind, dumb luck. You just look like a Ted. What's your plan, Ted?
None of your business.
You don't have a plan, Ted? You know what Nietzsche said, Ted. A man without a plan is not a man.
I'd rather have a gun than a plan.
Well, that's where you're wrong, son. Ted, you gonna shoot? Because if I'm gonna get shot by a Ted, I'd rather it be sooner than later.
I will if I have to.
I can see it now, Ted. Your face on the evening news. Headline reads, cop killer. Child murderer. Your mama at home watching. Proud of her little boy. Back off. It's right to the heart. I'd be dead before I even hit the floor. Go for it, Ted. Caleb,
Yes, sir.
rustle us up some fishing line.
All right. Lucas, think you ought to come here a minute.
Ted, that man is half dead. And you halfway took us hostage. I'm gonna call you Half Ted.
Shut up.
Let me tell you why a Half Ted here is a failure. You know what a conscience is?
It's like, when you do something wrong and it bothers you.
Well, not me. But see, Half Ted here has half a conscience. A man with a real conscience never would have gotten himself into this pickle. And a man with no conscience would have killed us all and be in Florida already.
So you're saying that Ted's not a bad man?
I'm not talking about good or bad, son. I'm talking about survival. Whole. Half. Half is nowhere. Half is... half.
You gotta take it all the way.
That's right.
Half is nowhere.
Absolutely goddamn right.
Half Ted has become shorthand for me anytime a character is neither here nor there, somewhere in the wishy-washy middle.
I don't know what to do. I can't make decisions. I'm a president.
I usually use it as a pejorative because half Teds are often the result of poor writing, or they are well-written characters who you're supposed to dislike. TV Tropes calls this sort of character the ditherer. I humbly submit that this trope should be rechristened the Half Ted. Thanks for watching. Can you think of any good examples of Half Teds from movies, TV, or other media? Shout them out in the comments. See you next time.